Hi, and welcome back to another episode of. Well, it's not necessarily another episode, it is the first episode of my new series, Tea and Tactics, on my new channel, Tea and Tactics. This will be covering strategy games and the sort, maybe a few off topic uploads regarding drama on YouTube if I can, cash in on that. So, let's get started. This guide will be for Timurids. Their starting position is... It has its pros and cons. Cons being Shahrukh. Shahrukh will die soon. And once he's dead, your vassals will go nuts. We're going to learn how to delay that, in the sense, and prevent your vassals from going nuts. This strategy was fully adapted, if not totally copied, from Completely Insane. Insane with a Z. That I found on Reddit. So, here are some basic guidelines you're going to want. And so, starting off, before you unpause the game, you're going to want to placate local rulers in Transoxiana. I will go ahead and go to our timeline screen right here. This is where you start off, placate the rulers in Transoxiana. Then you're going to want to, once you're done with that, keep in mind we are still paused here. Start building troops. Go to your force limit. Once you're done with that, organize them. Take about 11 take about 11, 9 or 10 troops, place them on either Kazerun or Dashdistan, right here. And once we declare war in Ajam, which will be soon, we'll have them move into Yasuj. So, here's where we're at now. We've placated the local rulers in Transoxiana, raised our forces to our force limit, and we're preparing for a war with Asia. This is a part where you're fine with unpausing now. You can unpause now, because once you've placated those local rulers in Transoxiana, you will complete a mission, which will give you 10 prestige, and you should be at either -1 or 0 prestige, so there's nothing to lose. You won't be in the negatives for long, or you won't be in the negatives at all. And you should have, say, about a good stack of 15,000 troops in both armies. Obviously, we're going to want to have 3 armies. The one down that are ready to go into Yasuj, and 2 that will be supporting us in the conquest of Asia. Good thing is that since you have gone ahead and placated the local rulers in Transoxiana, and everyone's liberty desire should be below 50%, they will all actively participate in the war, and you can essentially win this war without moving a finger. But I don't suggest you do it, because we're going to want to move up our troops. For me, my casus belli was on Simnan, and I sent up my troops right up there really quickly, and once we captured that, I didn't bother going for Abarka or Isfahan. I just went straight for the capital. And we captured their capital, Sistan, Afghanistan, Khorasan, Fars. They should have already captured those 2 areas that you've ignored, and you should have a sturdy line now. You're going to want to continue with your conquest, go for all of their castles. Meanwhile, down here, we should have captured this entire region by now, right? So we don't have to worry about that anymore. Our boys should be around up here. Essentially, boom, we'll take over Ajam. Here is everything that I annexed. Okay, so as you can see, we've left Ajam with 2 provinces. You're going to want to do that. That's essentially as high as you can go without doing this really quickly, it's a blitzkrieg, essentially, because you don't want Shah Rukh to die during the war, you want him to die after the war. So if he's dead, you know, a little bit before you get that peace deal, it's fine, but in the midst of the war, before you can successfully secure all of those provinces, except for those two, I don't know if you're going to be able to make it. You might want to save scum, or if you're an Iron Man, just completely restart your playthrough if you're not impatient. So, what now? What now after we've conquered all of this? Shah Rukh either has died the day after you sent the peace deal, or will die later. We don't worry about Shah Rukh anymore. He's not important. Now we worry about his death, essentially. You can do whatever you want while he's not important, in the sense that you can do whatever you want now that you're done with the war, but once he dies, this is what we do. We're gonna want to be placating local rulers, arranging marriages, using diplomacy to boost relations with all of your vassals. You're going to want to make sure that they do not go above 75% liberty desire. I maintain this with the highest liberty desire being 71%. Some people can't do that. It at least should, or at most should be 75%. So you're going to want to do that, because you're doing something wrong if it goes above 75%, because with all of my, you know, taking a look at Transoxiana, then going to Fars really quickly, you know, all of that multitasking and micromanagement, I managed to keep it below 75%, and at the very most it was 71%. So you're gonna want to wait, and then once you're able to annex Transoxiana, you have cores on it, you should know this, and you have a big pain in the butt dealt with. Transoxiana, if your vassals, subjects ever declare war on you, Transoxiana is going to be the killing blow. Once you're done with that, keep improving relations. You know, the -30 relations you get when you integrate and annex a vassal is very bad, but luckily for us, Transoxiana will have cores on it, instant annexation, and instant diplo annex. I believe it's Khorasan. We also have cores on them as well. You're going to want to go for them next. Then what I did not know about that for Khorasan, so I went for Sistan in Afghanistan. Thing to keep in mind here, if hopefully you're not doing this going along as I say this, but by this time you should have an administrative advisor who gives -2 unrest, because you're gonna want him. Luckily for me, I got an event which gave me an advisor with a -2 unrest, except his cost was slashed in half, because, you know, that's awesome. So that was luck. Running Timurids kind of is balanced out between luck and micromanagement, in my opinion, because you're going to want to keep those vassals from getting angry, and you're going to want to keep Shah Rukh from dying before you complete that war with Ajam. So let's just quickly speed up over here. You should see me quickly annex Transoxiana. Boom, that's a huge problem dealt with. Then I annexed Afghanistan, then Khorasan. It was really quick because by the time Afghanistan was annexed, I moved on to Khorasan, and I just realized, ooh, I could have diplo-annexed this right after Transoxiana, and I wouldn't have to spend my time coring, per se, as you do with other vassals that you don't have cores on. So we're left with Sistan and Fars here. By this time, you should have accumulated an army around 40,000. In your missions, this will allow you to make your expansion into India. Luckily for me, Kashmir did not have any allies, and this was more or less the quickest ever war. I had some of my boys go in, and we dealt with Kashmir. Now, here's some optional stuff that would make your life a little bit easier. So, as of now, I am I have a Hanafi guy over here. Oh, I'm a bit stupid. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the smartest tool in the shed. So we're gonna want to call over a Shafi'i. Sorry, I'm not 100% best with pronunciation, but as it's kind of like a teacher saying, "Oh guys, I'm not the best drawer," you know, because it's very, very prevalent in the strategy community. But I digress. We're gonna want an extra merchant, which will help us out. I have one merchant transferring trade power to Persia, and then one, and this guy is collecting from Persia. Usually you start off with these two transferring trade power, but you can collect. This extra merchant will let you collect. You should get him very early on, hopefully. So, what else? Just in case the worst happened, if you still want to run this, I allied myself with Nogai, just in case they could back me up against Transoxiana. If you follow my tutorial, you shouldn't have to worry about that, but it's always nice to have an extra friend. So, that's kind of my startup tutorial for Timurids. Now that you've hopefully followed everything, you've watched the video, you can go and successfully win, or at least survive the start date to 1470. Let's just round up there. You should be fine. That's it. So you can do whatever you want now. You can go after Baluchistan if you haven't done that already. You have a striking blow to Ajam. Make sure that they don't get too revengey and all of that stuff, and like somehow Diplo annex Karakoyunlu or something and come back for blood. You can go and try to rush Mughal Empire. The possibilities are endless. I personally kind of want to do a successor to the Mongol horde thing with Timurids, like I kind of want it to be somewhat expectable that Timurids might want to become a successor, but not 100% expectable. Like, for example, the Great Horde or the Mongolians coming back. I want it to be suspectable, but not 100%. And not like 0%, because I don't want to have error. Sorry, I don't play African nations in this game. Other than Mamluks or Tunis. North African nations are fun, or Adal, you know, reinstating the Mongol horde or something crazy like that. Although that might be an interesting playthrough. But yeah, you can do whatever you want now. And if this was a okay tutorial, I mean, I don't have any jazzy stuff yet, just a nice mic setup and a video editor. If this was a pretty okay tutorial, if this helped you out a little bit, it would always be nice if you subscribed or liked, so I could get in that YouTube algorithm, so I can make that sweet YouTube cash. And other strategy players could take a look at my tutorial here and my tutorials in the future and be like, hey, that's pretty good, you know? So thanks for making it to this point in the video. Sorry about all my rambling, and I hope that this wasn't too annoying for you.